Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to today's soul chat. So, I want to talk about separation in the spiritual sense. So, this means what does it mean to be separated from the Creator? And when did that happen? And how did that happen? And what does that mean for you in your terms of your life path? And the reason why I want to talk about this is last week I had posted a story and I had gotten a lot of questions from that story and a lot of comments based off of it. And it was really this thought of the only thing that is separating you from your dream life or your desired state, your most highest self, right, is the thought that you were actually separated from that. What if you weren't separated from that reality? And what if that reality is actually happening right now? Because it is, right? It's all happening in real time. The reason why we believe that we're separated from that life, desired life, dream life, whatever you want to call it, right, is because we feel that there's separation between us and that. And not only that, when we're in our highest self, our most aligned self to source, we are source, right? But that doesn't mean that we're not source right now. It's just that we have this sense of separation from the light, the sense of separation from the Creator. So what does that really mean? I'm going to break it down for you. So when the soul first decides to take life, decides to take human form, or any sort of form, right? Some sort of form that it can take into being on this earth. It decides to express a form of the Creator. So at purest form, your soul is nothing but a fragment or a light of the Creator, a light of source, a light of God, whatever you call that higher power, right? We're nothing but a fragment of it. We're just an expression. And everyone is a unique expression of God, source, Creator. And as we take human form or a form on earth, when we sign that contract, we sign the contract of coming with not only a soul, but an ego. And the idea of the ego is to give us identity, to give us a way of being in our individualistic form on earth, right? That's what makes me me. And as we go on to that path, we also, during that process of signing contract, sign things that we want to learn in this life. And so they may be lessons that we haven't learned. They may be lessons that we want to learn. There may be certain things that we really want to experience, all because we're trying to be in our fullest state, right? And as we're doing that process, from the soul state, we're like very excited about this, right? We're like, this is going to be great. We don't realize at that, like when we're signing all of these contracts, that we're going to separate from the Creator. But what happens then at that point in time is once that whole contract situation is done, we're ready to come onto earth, our soul separates from the Creator. We're like, now we're separated. We come into human form. We go into our mother's womb, right? And then we come into human form as a baby and we take life as an adult. And as we're going through that process, in that process of taking form, the further and further we go, the further and further we are going away from the Creator. We're separating away from the Creator, and the ego is growing more, right? We're becoming more ingrained in our identity. We're becoming more ingrained in who we are, our biases, the things that like make us us, our beliefs, and that's also creating a separation from the rest of us, right? So if you can think about it, if we're all just an expression of source, we're all connected, we're all one, right? That's the whole concept of unity, and I'll jump into that a little bit more next week. But as we are becoming further and further and ingrained more in our ego, we're going further and further from the Creator, we're creating separation. And as we're creating separation, we're also creating separation from the idea that we are able to create, or anything is possible, right? Your dream life, your desired life, your desired state, your highest self, all of those things is nothing but the creation that the creator, the light, which is also you, wanted to manifest at the greatest state, right? So if you can think about it, that state of you, that life of you, is not far-fetched. It's not like it's not going to happen. It's none of those things. All of those things that you may think that are limiting you or blocking you from getting there is just a hurdle, and it's just your ego kind of holding you back from getting to the state of what your soul already knows is capable of, what the creator has already set aside for you. So, with that said, I'm going to end with this. I want you to think about, like, what if the only thing that's separating you from that desired state is really you? It's really just your limiting beliefs. It's really just the reality, the narrative that you are building in your reality, right? Let's say, for example, you're trying to manifest having a beautiful family. What if the reason why you're not there yet is because of all of the things you keep telling yourself about why you can't have that? Why you can't have that yet? Can't have that yet. Maybe I need some time. I need to still focus on my career. Maybe it's not like the right time. My partner's also very busy with all of these things. Like, whatever you may be telling, whatever stories you're telling yourself, those are the stories, and that's the reality that you're painting, and that's the separation that you're creating between you and the desired state. So, for this week, I want you to focus on creating a closer connection, closing the gap between you and the creator, and really getting further into your connection with the creator, with the light, with source, universe, whatever you call that higher power. Connect with it at a deeper state. And when I say a deeper state, that means when you think about the creator, when you think about the light, when you think about God, source, energy, universe, what is it to you? What is it to you? And what comes up inside of you? What is the feeling? And I want you to embody that feeling. And I want you to then just forget about everything that you are trying to manifest, everything that you're trying to do, all of those things, whatever's on your to-do list. Just stay with that feeling for the morning time, for the evening time, whatever time you set aside. Just stay with that feeling, and then move with your day with that feeling, with that embodiment that you just have. And then I want you to just leave a comment on what you felt and how you felt, and then we will talk next week a little bit further on this topic, because I think that there's a lot to discuss in this. I love you all so very much. Peace, love, and light. Namaste.